England, November 1963. A living room flickers with gray light, orange curtains pulled tight, patterned carpet scuffed by restless feet. The television crackles softly in the corner, its black and white glow pulsing like a heartbeat. Two children sit on the floor, the air around them drawn like a held breath. The screen blinks, a police box spins through stars, and Doctor Who steps onto the stage of time. And then, sound. It doesn't begin, it arrives. A ripple through time, cold and bright, dissonant, hypnotic, woven from circuits and code, not strings and brass. The children flinch just slightly. The grown-ups glance up. Nobody speaks. It sounds like nothing they've heard before. No violins, no melody, just pulse, tremor, warp. Nobody speaks. It sounds alien, futuristic, alive. They don't know it yet, but this is one of the most iconic theme tunes of all time. A blueprint for electronic music, a sound that will echo for generations. And behind it all? Not a man with a baton, not a room of instruments, but one woman, hidden in the radiophonic shadows. Splicing tape, bending tone, shaping the sound of the future with scissors, sine waves, and silence. Delia Derbyshire, a revolution unsung. They may have buried her name in silence, but her sounds bent time itself. Delia was 3 when the sirens began. Coventry, 1940, the opening salvos of the Blitz. The sky pulsed with warning. The ground shook beneath broken prayers. But to Delia, it was sound, piercing, patterned, a city crumbling in rhythm. After the fires came the fog. Her parents took her north, to Preston, where the air was thick with cotton dust and the mornings struck hard against stone. But even there, the world was speaking in patterns. And Delia? Delia was listening. The sound of clogs on cobblestones, a percussive rattle before dawn. She carried it for years, that blunt morning rhythm. Clogs on stone, workers moving like clockwork through fog. It surfaced in Time to Go, a composition stitched from memory and footsteps that never broke stride. She won a place at Cambridge, Girton College, founded for women, but not for working-class girls with Coventry grit and coal smoke in their lungs. There, she studied music and maths, pattern and precision, sound measured in ratios, each note with a value, and each equation a rhythm. And after graduation, there was no blueprint for a girl like her, with sine waves in her bloodstream and ratios stitched into every thought. She searched for the intersection where music met mathematics, where logic hummed, and every frequency had a purpose. Decca turned her down, said they didn't hire women for studio work, not even ones who could read sound like scripture. So she turned to the BBC, not for revolution, but for a foothold. She logged takes, timed broadcasts to the second, followed cue sheets like silent scores she wasn't allowed to play. A trainee studio manager, but she watched more than tape. She learned the architecture of sound, the machinery of control, and where it cracked. They placed her in the BBC Radiophonic Workshop, a room of wires, of function without feeling, and she listened. It was never meant for music. The workshop was a tool to conjure footsteps, wind, machines, sound effects for radio plays, not symphonies. She read their frequency guide like a score out of tune, marked its faltering notes, rewrote the song, then stepped through the doors, already humming a higher frequency. There were no keyboards, no buttons to press, just raw tape, razor blades, and time. Sound was sliced, spliced, coaxed from machines that moaned like wounded beasts. Every note had to be bent by hand, every echo summoned from silence by sheer will. She composed with a slide rule and graph paper, calculations instead of chords, music etched in numbers and arcs, perfection measured to the millimeter. Deadlines drifted past her like static on the air. She wasn't late. The world was early. When the last footsteps faded, she unfurled her symphonies down empty corridors, magnetic tape stretched from doorframe to doorframe, notes suspended in space like constellations. And then came the brief, a science fiction serial, something strange, unsettling, a sound that could travel through time. Most saw noise. Delia saw possibility. She took Ron Grainer's score, a few black notes on paper, and tore open the universe. No synths, no shortcuts, just oscillators, filters, spools of tape stretched like nerves across the studio floor. She sculpted it by hand, each note, each tremor, each ghostly sweep of sound stitched from pure electricity, her fingertips bending time across the studio floor. When Ron heard it, he blinked. "Did I write that?" Delia just smiled. "Most of it," she said. It became one of the most famous themes in television history. But not her name, not her face, not her genius. Ron Grainer insisted her name deserved the screen, but the BBC refused. House rules, they said, workshop tradition. No names, no faces, just echoes behind the curtain. So the Doctor traveled through time, and the world listened. But no one knew who was bending the stars into sound. She stayed, and the soundscape of Britain shifted. Science programs, dreams, hymns half whispered through static. A new aesthetic was born, eerie, elegant, electronic sound with a soul. She tuned television to the uncanny, scoring not just stories, but the spaces between them. Blue veils and golden sands. A flute from the Sahara, reimagined in circuits and echoes. The dreams, voices layered like clouds, memories drifting in electric fog. But time moved on, and the machines changed tune. Mass-produced, predictable. The synthesizer arrived, clean, clipped, obedient. A future she hadn't chosen. The deadlines shortened, the wonder thinned, and what once crackled with alchemy now buzzed with expectation. The corridors grew colder, the tape stopped singing. In 1973, she walked away, not just from the workshop, but from music itself. Disillusioned, disappearing like the last note of a fading broadcast. But the silence was never complete. Now and then she surfaced, collaborating in corners, scoring dreams for friends, laying strange soundscapes over film and fringe. Not the spotlight, never the center, but still Delia, haunting the margins of music. She lived simply, a flat above a bookshop in Cumbria, a cat, a kettle, and the occasional visitor who sensed the brilliance buried in the quiet. But the silence took its toll, and Delia withdrew from the world. The brightness faded, shadows gathered, and drink became her refuge. There were days lost to fog, dark hours folded into darker ones. The frequencies turned inwards, looping pain, replaying doubt, and the woman who once heard everything began to tune out. But time, like tape, loops. And in the late 90s, the static shifted. A younger generation, raised on the hum of the workshop, went looking. Peter Kember, Sonic Boom. Brian Hodgson, an old ally. Together, they coaxed Delia back into sound. She began composing again, not for fame, but for the frequency itself. A quiet resurgence, collaborations shaped like memories, music that shimmered just outside the mainstream. She called it the Airwaves Project, an electronic rebirth, snippets, fragments, transmissions, music not for broadcast, but for breathing. For a little while, the signal held. Then in 2001, a stroke, and another. The tape warped, and the signals faltered. On 3rd July 2001, Delia Derbyshire slipped into the silence for good. But oh, what a frequency she left behind. Posthumously, the world began to listen. Really listen. Archives unearthed, compositions rediscovered, tributes, documentaries, reverence. The woman who once built sound from scraps, tape, tone, and persistence was finally seen, not just as the ghost in the wires, but the architect of a sonic future. She changed the world without ever stepping into its spotlight. Now, at last, it turns toward her. Delia Derbyshire, a hidden heroine.